Hello fellow Dark Warriors, I am Zardar and welcome to another online battle from Warhammer 2. So this time we're playing as the Vampire Coast and we're up against the Skaven. Now before you start saying things, I know that the Vampire Coast, especially Noctilus, is like the most OP thing right now in Warhammer 2, but if you go back into my battles you will notice that I've never, or have I played another one? I don't remember, but because of that reason that I know that Vampire Coast is overpowered. I've never played the game since it came out on ladder, but I really wanted to try them because you asked me to. You want to see some Vampire Coast actions. I came up against the Skaven. That's how the guy wanted to go. So even though it's overpowered, I think it's the first battle I've ever played. So bear in mind that it's gonna get bumpy. So I'm just gonna pause over here because actually no. Anyway, so for my forces we got a front line as usual of just cheap zombies with the Tide of the Scold, which are a little bit better of a tough unit with actually decent stats of 29 and 22 and a decent weapon strength. So 5 of those. We got 3 units of zombie pirate gunnery mob with the bombers. I mean, we got 3 bombers. In the back line we have 1, 2, 3, 4 units of spears with polearms and just 1 unit of depth guard as the MVP. We also got 2 carronades in the front. I actually deployed them as front as I could because I was afraid I wouldn't be able to catch his warp lightning cannons immediately. So yeah, I deployed these guys really up in the front, and immediately as the battle started I started actually shooting one of his warp lightning cannons. We got 2 warhounds, scurvy dogs on the forest, just going in hidden, trying to encircle the enemy. We got Noctilus over here with, you know, the usual summon build, just the Captain Roth's Moondial, the Wraith Storm, Invocation, Heck and Summon, and we got also a Terrorgeist, Deathshriek Terrorgeist up on the air as just our unique monster unit. So for the enemy's forces we got a front line of spearmen of Clanrat spears with shields, actually, not slaves. There are some slaves. We got also an assassin with trophy heads, good, very good pick against any other lord, like especially Noctilus, which he's like really freaking tanky. Lord Skrolk over here with Liber Bubonicus, Rod of Corruption, the summons and the imbuing poison. We also got 2 units of Storm Vermin with halberds. 1 Plague Monk Sensor Bearer over here for the armor piercing, I guess, and I'm pretty sure these guys are excellent. I don't play with them a lot, but I'm pretty sure that they can bring down tough units fast down. In the back line we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units of Skaven Slave Slingers, because this is how you wanna go against the Vampire Coast, a lot of missile play. We also got 2 units of Warp Lightning Cannons, protected by 2 Clanrat spears with shields and another one over back here, and in the back we got 1 unit of Death Runners over here, and I think there was a second one, or am I wrong? I think there were 2 units of Death Runners. So yeah, he's gonna try to get into my back with this Death Runner unit. Now before we begin, bear in mind this battle, when I played it, it was like super laggy, possibly as it usually happens. I'm in Europe, I was most likely playing against a guy in Australia or something, because usually with the US the lag is not that great, at least for me. So yeah, please bear in mind, as I said, it's my first battle, if I'm correct, so yeah, it's not gonna be like a pro Vampire Coast player over here. So the carronades are opening fire. We're in an artillery fight right now with the warp lightning cannons. They have not managed to destroy a single piece as of yet, and I think we have managed to destroy 2 of theirs. So this warp lightning cannon is into some big trouble, and it's now aiming for the Terrorgeist. I see that, so I'm just gonna try and move. Unfortunately I get shot. I end up running against a lot of Skaven slaves. I'm trying to get a breath over here on the Storm Vermin, but I fail miserably, as you can see. So this is the time where I have to actually commit into the front line. I'm just gonna stand here, just use my bombers. I'm gonna take the full charge. There's no need to just send my units in the front, because the bombers are gonna do all of the hard work. these slaves are gonna get passed through, and the assassin is actually gonna get straight up into Noctilus, and with the trophy heads on point over on him, it's actually gonna do some work against him, so I will eventually have to move him back just to avoid that big damage spike, because yeah, I just don't know how to deal with it. So this is the time where the depth guard is gonna move in, which is gonna be able to beat down relatively easily that assassin and also the Flannerat spears that are gonna be getting through. The terrorgeist had to come back, and actually by doing that I actually managed to overblow up his Skaven slave slingers, because they all came here to chasing off the terrorgeist. That's why you need guard mode. So one big summon over here has managed to get at least 2 units. Obviously he's gonna run back, but this is where I bring my hounds. The initial thought was to go after the warp lightning cannon, but seeing that one was off and my carronades, both of them were still online, I'm just gonna target the warp lightning cannon with the carronades, and the hounds are gonna go straight for the Skaven slave slingers. And the terrorgeist is actually gonna land here, trying to it was actually trying to protect Noctilus against the assassin, because this thing, I don't think it's anti-large. Yep, it's only the vampire counts terrorgeist that's anti-large, so it has a relatively well melee attack, not well, because right now he's poisoned, so it's down to 33. I think it's 42 or something. So it's gonna come down, just try to get a good decent fight together with Skrolk against the assassin and Noctilus over here. It's gonna be a crazy fight. Bombers flying. Poor Skrolk, oh my god, he just went flying over there. So yeah, where's my depth card, by the way? Yeah, the depth card has managed to get into a somewhat relative backline. I also got, is it the same summon? Yeah, it's the same summon, so it has just managed to overtake over here. Another breath is gonna go down into the halberd unit over here, and these terrorgeists don't have the greatest of breaths, so that really didn't do a lot, but at least we have managed to shatter this unit. So these guys will be free to advance. The slingers are still coming after my terrorgeist. Fortunately this thing has at least 80 armor, so it's not gonna be doing that much, although it's not like the greatest thing. So this is what I'm talking about, first time playing as a Vampire Coast, and the rookie mistake, I leave my warp lightning, my carronades undefended, so that unit of death runners managed to get in the back. Also a summon of plague. Okay, that was why I was remembering 2 death runners. Actually one was a summon, so yeah, just 1 death runner unit to destroy the carronades in the back. They end up fighting the bombers over here, which is not a good thing for me. This deckhand mob just can't keep up with the fast death runners over here, so they will be able, probably my opponent is spamming the attack over here, just getting the kills on these guys, just trying to avoid the other ones. But at least we have another one back here, so they're gonna be able to drop some bombs, which I think these bombs like cause blindness, if I'm correct. Let me see. Oh, they don't. Okay, what happened to their stats? They're like really low. Oh, because they're bombers. Sorry. Anyway, back into the front fight. The balance of power is still relatively even. His slingers are now back online because my warhounds weren't able to completely defeat all of his backline forces. There were a lot of spears mixed in there, but we have managed to get a good damage on Skrolk. So the terrorgeist is gonna try to overchase a little bit, but I'm just gonna end up fighting spears and getting shot by Skaven slave slingers. So I'm just gonna run the hell back and just try and wait for my depth guard to get into the front, to get into that cookie jar of slingers over here, and they're gonna chop them down really fast. This guy, how many kills so far? 113. I was actually expecting a little bit more for a depth guard unit, but who knows, perhaps his front line was buffed or something. Another breath is gonna go down here. I'm just trying to relieve Noctilus from fighting just cheap crap. And yeah, I just wanted to advance him so he could get more summons over here. And actually he was the one that won the artillery game in terms of who stayed alive, because at least one warp lightning cannon is still alive and it's actually shooting, while even though initially I won the fight, my carronades have been shut off. The pieces are still there, they're quite healthy, but the crew, both of the crew are pretty much dead. So we have managed to fend off that Skaven rat. Is that the Death Runners? Yeah, the Death Runners are still quite alive, probably going for the bombers over here, which I completely failed to notice. And yeah, this guy will be far back, so these bombers will not have an easy day. At least in the front line it's going quite well. The Death Guard is over here, which have been healed quite a lot of times, because this is my best unit against all of that chaff. They can really chop down. I'm pretty sure they can cut down all of the tough Skaven slave forces. or even clan rats with shields. The only thing that could really hurt them is actually the sensor bearers over here. Oh, and that's why they probably didn't get that good work done, because they were actually fighting sensor bearers, which are a direct counter to the depth cut. So he's gonna get some rallying forces. I had a summon in the back just trying to fend off his freaking slingers from actually attacking my Terrorgeist, which has reached his healing cap at the moment. Count Nautilus is all alone over here except the depth guard still remaining. How many guys? 23 guys. So they will be doing alright, because I don't count these Skaven slaves, clan rats as a strong unit. And as you can see, the balance of power is gonna tip massively in my favor as I get that dive with the Terrorgeist, so everything is gonna get terror outed over here, and it's gonna be GG. I don't remember, have I done like another game? I think it was my first game. It was a few days ago. I think it was, yeah, my first game with the freaking Vampire Coast, if I remember correctly. So yeah, that was probably a good opponent, because he did quite well, even though I had a really nasty build provided by King of the Dead. Too much hanging around lately with King of the Dead, and he's turning me into an undead minion. Anyway, so for my forces, I think that was an excellent build. I really like the Terrorgeist thing that I had on my build. The Carronade play was quite excellent too. We managed to destroy the warp lightning cannons quite easily. The Scurvy Dogs did their job, just holding down the slingers just for enough time. The bombers, I don't really know. They kinda did okay, I guess. 217 kills for the depth guard, quite happy about that. And yeah, the front line did quite well, like 62 kills here, 48, 40, 30, 49, 53, 39. Yeah, my front line did quite well. Even the tough did alright. But then again, they were fighting tough as well. 15 kills for Count Noctiboy, but he was being harassed by the assassin most of the game. And the reason for that is because I got my summons. I was trying to shut down his backline, so I was just popping the summons into the slingers, and I didn't have any summons to protect him except the Terrorgeist. That's why he was such low on kills, because I was actually trying to run away and fight Skrolk or the assassin head on. For my opponent's forces, I definitely like his build. The warp lightning cannons, I don't know, like the carronades are a direct threat to these things. You saw immediately that if you start shooting first and just dedicate both of the two cannons into one piece, they're gonna emerge victorious. So yeah, the warp lightnings were okay, but it's kind of a, I don't know, mindful game. If your opponent also goes heavy carronades, it's gonna be like 50-50 chance who's gonna win. Skrolk is a good pick. The assassin, as always, an excellent unit, great utility. His front line was quite okay. He probably went for the shields in order to have that more increased melee defense. The Death Runners in the back completely destroyed my back line, just one unit. I also liked that. 2 units of Storm Vermin with halberds, which did not do that well. Actually, look at the Plague Monk Sensor Bearers over here. They absolutely nailed it. So I really think, like, now that I think of it, against all of that stuff, Plague Monks and Sensor Bearers are gonna be like, I think are the best pick against the freaking Vampire Coast. The Sensor Bearers, just one, you don't need more, just in case he runs with Depth Guard, the Vampire Coast player, and the Plague Monks in order to chop down any chaff, because they will chop them down hard, and the Death Runners, yeah, you definitely need those in the back line. A lot of slingers, and yeah, I think it's a solid build. I would just go a little bit heavier on Plague Monks instead of Storm Vermin with halberds. But then again, if your opponent decides to go with a really heavy crab build, you actually need those. So I don't know, perhaps, yeah, it's a tricky question. It's tricky, like on the one hand, and that's why the Vampire Coast is such an overpowered faction. It's not just the summon build, it's the fact that they can bring various builds. For example, I went with this one over here, and it was lopsided. I could have actually gone with a crab build. I could have gone with the animated husk build. I could have gone with like Mongol Ras. I could have gone with any available thing that I would need, and my opponent would have to pretty much guess, because if you go heavy on Plague Monks and he doesn't bring a tough build, you're screwed. If he goes like if you go like with heavy anti-large and he brings a tough build, you're screwed. So yeah, that's the reason the Vampire Coast is such an overpowered faction, because of the diversity. It's not just the summon; they can bring whatever they want. They want, and they will still win, because you just can't prepare for every answer they have. Yeah, these guys definitely need a nerf for F's sake. Anyway, I really hope you enjoyed this battle, guys. Feel free to leave a like or a comment. Feel free to subscribe if you're not, and hit that notification button. And yeah, gonna be seeing you next time. Bye bye.